Good afternoon, class. Today we are going to start to do some MCA test prepping with using the MCA test website. To start, we will talk about metacognition. What is metacognition? And then going on to the test website. First, metacognition. What is that besides a big word that we don't know a whole lot about? So, metacognition is, in short, thinking about your thinking. Awareness and understanding of one's own thought processes. As you are doing this test prep today and answering the questions, you are going to fill out a worksheet that you are also going to write down what was the reason why you gave that answer. And I'll go over that worksheet a little bit later. First off, there's a video here on what is metacognition, and it'll paint a clearer understanding of what it means. I have another definition here. Metacognition is cognition about cognition. Thinking about your thinking, knowing about knowing, becoming aware of one's awareness, and higher order thinking skills. If you are taking this test and you don't understand, why are we reading this story? Why do we need to know this information? Well, it's not necessarily about the information that you really need to know, but what is your thought process on how to get that information? That is going to be the key to being successful at finding answers in the future when you're taking a test or in future professions. How do you get to the answer that you need? And that is metacognition, your thought process of, okay, what do I already know? What do I need to know? How can I get there? A seat on the bus is going to be the first story that you will read and answer questions on in the MCA website. To start off, you can go to the website by clicking on this clicking on the clicking on this link here, and it's going to show you this page. You don't need to log anything in, you just need to push start, and it's going to say section 1. That's where you want to be, and you push start again. So if you can, don't log out of this website as we will be using it. Otherwise, log out and then you'll just have to click through each of the sections. You can't choose sections. It's kind of a wonky site like that. They want you to practice it all at once, but we're not going to practice it all at once. We're just going to take snippets. So to start, you're just going to see the title. You need to push the blue button arrow to get to the actual reading and the questions. So this reading here is going to stay the same. It's going to stay there while these questions change throughout. Here are some great tools on the MCA website that you can use. First thing I'd like to show you is how to highlight. You can highlight any of the reading that you find important things that you might want to say, oh, that looks like something we're going to get tested on. Why don't I highlight it? And then when I go back to it, I can find it easier. Another thing I want to mention is this tab up here. This is for a notepad to open. You can't use a paper and pencil during the MCA, but you can use this notepad if you want to write notes as you're reading to help your metacognition. You're thinking about your thinking. Putting notes down can be helpful. Another thing would be to bookmark. You can bookmark certain pieces of the test. Actually, I'm not sure how to bookmark. That might be when you're going through the different test sections. One big note I want to make about this story, it has information in this black box. This is part of the reading. It just gives an information on this true story and what the author was thinking while writing the story. Next, you'll get to the questions. Each of these questions is also going to be on your worksheet. I want you to make sure you fill out the question on the worksheet, because next week we're going to go over this and correct them. If you don't do it, you won't get the points. You're not graded on this. What you're graded on is completion. So you need to fill in the answers, what you did, and then more importantly is explain why you got the answer. So you mark the bus driver threatens to call the police. What is the answer and why did you write that? Because that's going to give you an idea next week when I say if you get it wrong, you can look at your reasoning and say, why did I put that answer? That doesn't make sense. And then you say, oh, okay, that's what I was thinking at the time, but now I know that this is the right answer and this is why. Once you get through all of the sections, you will go to the next reading, which is going to be a poem, The Rivulet. If you get to that, I will hand out that sheet. Just raise your hand and I'll hand it out to you. Today, this is working independently on your MCA test review. If you have questions, raise your hand. If you have comments, raise your hand. Please, when you are finished with each of these, or at the end of the day, I will collect them. If you don't finish, that is okay. You can put them on my table up front, closest to the computer. If you finished both A Seat on the Bus and The Rivulet today, which is a lot, go ahead and open your book and read the rest of the hour. And please do not disturb others who are still working on this. Good luck, and if you have any questions, let me know.